Welcome to the Samsung Galaxy S10 Lite Long Term review. It's been about 8 months since this phone came out and today we will re-review it. We will go through the entire journey of this phone over the past 8 months, especially now the S20 Fan Edition is out, an indirect successor of the S10 Lite. This review is going to make a lot more sense. S10 Lite started off with a price tag of about $500. This phone has now come down to about $450 and the current price for different regions is on your screen. This phone was launched by Samsung to provide a better value for money choice to the users who cannot afford a Samsung flagship. The S10 Lite was launched just before the S20 lineup. Samsung's idea was to capture the market in the sub $500 price segment. S10 Lite did not do quite well initially, but the phone pulled a lot of traction later on. And now that the S20 FE is out, the S10 Lite is once again the talk of the town, and that too for all the right reasons. S10 Lite is still a pricey phone. Its price should have massively dropped, but Samsung is still holding its price up. I absolutely don't like its price, but when I say I don't like the price, it strictly remains to the price only. It doesn't mean I don't like the phone. When we reviewed the phone earlier in 2020, it looked more like a mid-range Samsung device with a few high-end specifications, but things have improved a lot since then. S10 Lite has come a long way, so before I talk about what's there to be improved, let me tell you what's improved for now. S10 Lite out of the box ran on Android 10 themed by the One UI 2.0. Since then, this phone has received two big updates, One UI 2.1 and the One UI 2.5. Back in the day, this phone had a very basic Samsung software, but later on, Samsung started adding the flagship features to its software. One UI 2.5 looks neat on this phone. There is a nice screen recorder, dark mode is there, the Google navigation gestures with third-party applications work well, and some other features that you get on a Samsung phone. Apparently, this phone was supposed to be a flagship killer, but the corners cut by Samsung did not let it be one. S10 Lite doesn't have the wireless DeX feature, whereas its successor, the S20 FE, has it, and there are many such features that are still missing on the S10 Lite as of today. When things started improving in the camera department, S10 Lite first of all got its missing 4K at 60 FPS video recording mode. It wasn't there in this phone on day one. Samsung also added further camera features with the new software updates. S10 Lite at one point had all the features that Samsung's S20 lineup had. But wait, Samsung actually did not bring all the goodness to this phone's camera app. In fact, when Samsung launched the Galaxy S20 FE this year, it brought all flagship features to that phone, but not even half of those features were there in the S10 Lite. For example, both the S20 FE and S10 Lite have a same front camera sensor, but the S10 Lite cannot do 4K at 60 FPS from its front camera, which the S20 FE can do. The S10 Lite doesn't have a motion detection feature in its slow-mo either. S10 Lite's Pro mode did improve, but it still doesn't have the raw save option. It even got the Video Pro mode, but it still doesn't have the Video Pro mode resolution options, and this feature is also there on the S20 FE. So it looks like Samsung wanted to clear the air for the S20 FE by not providing us these features in the S10 Lite right now. But despite this fact, the S10 Lite still takes very good images and captures impressive videos. S10 Lite's main camera sensor is a Sony IMX586 sensor. It's the same sensor that you get on the OnePlus 8T these days. So just to put things into a better perspective, the S10 Lite can still go neck and neck with the best of OnePlus. Sensor takes cool images with a very nice color tone. Of course, this is not as good as S20 FE's camera. The S10 Lite can whitewash the sky, it blows off the highlights too in images, but it takes good videos with very nice stability. And by the way, S10 Lite stability doesn't work in the 60 FPS mode, it works only in the 30 FPS mode. But the point is, this phone from early 2020 has a camera sensor which some companies are putting in their brand new phones. So yeah, as far as the cameras are concerned, S10 Lite still gets a vote from me. Internals of this phone are really solid. It has the Snapdragon 855 7nm chipset, which is still one of the very best SoCs. Now, just to give you a better idea, S20 FE in most of the regions is being offered with the Exynos 990 chipset. But this was not the case with the S10 Lite. S10 Lite came with only one chipset, it was the Snapdragon 855, and that is what the users got all across the globe. So this is one of the best things about the S10 Lite even today. It's got a RAM of 8 gigs and its base storage back in the day started off with 128 gigs, but now there is a 512 gigs variant of the S10 Lite available, and that's actually very good. Just in case you take a lot of photos or store a lot of data on your phone, you need at least 512 gigs of storage. The S10 Lite might be one of the best options for you out there. Because as far as I know, Samsung offers 512 gigs variants of its flagship devices only, and there isn't even a 512 gigs variant of the S20 FE right now. So the S10 Lite in that segment is the probable best choice. Gaming on this phone is quite impressive. It easily hits 60 FPS, and because it has a Snapdragon chipset which happens to be more energy efficient as well, the phone doesn't easily heat up. Playing games on it is a whole lot of fun. Sadly, the single bottom firing speaker of this phone is a disappointment. It's an average speaker. I wish Samsung had given us the stereo speaker setup on this phone. Display on the S10 Lite is still one of the very best. It's a 6.7 inches flawless display. The Super AMOLED Plus panel on the screen has a very high brightness. There is a fingerprint scanner beneath the screen which works just fine. In case you don't know, I did a full comparison between the S10 Lite and the S20 FE a few days back, and I did talk about the S10 Lite having a better screen. Yes, the S10 Lite might not have that 120Hz refresh rate, but this display first of all is Super AMOLED Plus as compared to the Super AMOLED of the S20 FE. It has a higher brightness, its bezel profile and bottom chin is slimmer, but it does have slightly big camera cutout on the front. S10 Lite has a flat, solid and a wider build. This is polycarbonate, but this phone is much more premium than Samsung's mid-range A71 or A51. In fact, the S10 Lite still retains a higher level of premiumness than the S20 FE. In comparison to the S10 Lite, the S20 FE's build seems and feels very cheap. S10 Lite's frame is also built out of aluminium, and I really have no issues with the design or the build of this phone even today. Let's talk about the most compelling aspect of this phone, the battery. It's got a 4500 mAh battery inside. This battery, just in case you forgot, is there along with the 60Hz Super AMOLED Plus panel and the Snapdragon 855 chipset. So you can already imagine how good this is going to be. Back in the day, I did a detailed battery drain test, and at that time, the phone stayed on for 9 hours and 11 minutes. I did another battery drain test putting more stress on it just a few days back, and it easily lasted for 7 hours and 2 minutes. It still has one of the longest lasting batteries out there, and you know what's even better? S10 Lite has a charging support of 45 watt and it comes with a 25 watt charger out of the box. Just so you know, the S20 FE has a charging support of 25 watt and comes with a 15 watt charger instead. S10 Lite takes merely 60 to 65 minutes to hit 100%. Imagine a phone that takes 1 hour to fully charge and provides you with a battery backup of up to 10 hours. Talking about the screen on time on average use. S10 Lite's hardware is powerful. There are definitely no compromises made on the hardware end, but it is Samsung's software that caps the potential of this phone. If Samsung unlocks all those flagship features for us today, the S10 Lite will be a phone second to none. The camera sensor of this phone is still great. Its CPU is powerful. It has a big RAM, big battery, better storage option, supports micro SD card. Of course, we cannot ask Samsung for wireless charging, wireless power share, or a telephoto lens, since that is going to be a hardware upgrade, but we definitely deserve more software features including the wireless text, 60 FPS for the front camera in 4K, and a better slow-mo feature. Apart from these, the S10 Lite is still a very good smartphone and it absolutely gets my recommendation. Let me know about your thoughts about this phone in the comment section below, and also drop your feedback about this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe now, and if you loved this video, please hit the like button too. With that said, I will sign off and see you all in the next video.